Hi, and welcome to the very first episode of Inside Beauty with Ivy Lane. I'm going to start today explaining a little bit about why I've started this podcast, my intentions behind it, where I'd like to take it, and tell a little bit about me for those of you who don't know who I am and don't know any of my history. Explaining how it is that someone like me who has never had really any interest in the beauty industry, how I now found myself in an industry which at times I despise. I grew up as a teenager who was more interested in the environment and saving trees than I ever was in beauty. So sometimes I find it quite odd that here I am with my own skincare range and part of the beauty industry. So the reason I started making, people often ask me the reason I started making skincare products. It's a common question, and the truth is I made them because I needed them. There was nothing on the market at the time that I could use. I was in my early 30s and I started getting my first signs of wrinkles in my early 40s now. I laugh at myself and I look back at photos and realize how young I still looked. But today, so I started my range out of a need. My skin was very, very sensitive throughout most of my life. It's still quite sensitive, not as much as it used to be, thanks to work I've done on my inside. But it was so sensitive that I could never use anything on my skin whatsoever. I grew up not using soap. Any skincare products or makeup that I would try to use would irritate my skin, and the hypoallergenic stuff seemed to be much worse. And for that reason, now I'm grateful having grown up, because I know more about skincare products and what's in them. I'm grateful for avoiding so many years of applying damaging products to my skin. But yes, like I said, I got to my early 30s and I realized that I needed to start using something. And there was nothing that I could use. And I went one day and I decided I would try to buy some naturals products. And I bought this moisturizer that looked natural. It said all the right things on the packaging. It was beautiful packaging. It smelled lovely. It didn't have any synthetic perfumes or aromas, something I'm very, very sensitive to. They were natural. It was a natural scent. And I started to use it. And as I'm the sort of person who likes to understand and learn, and I never believe what I'm told, I went and checked the ingredients of this, what I thought was beautiful natural skincare products, on a database, Environmental Working Group Cosmetic Database is what it's called, or the EWG Cosmetic Database. And what the database does, you can enter ingredients from cosmetics, and it will come up with, it's got a rating system on how dangerous they are, and then you can go in and see what research has been shown to support the damage that, or how dangerous they are. So if something's carcinogenic, you can go in and you can actually refer to some of the studies that show that this particular ingredient has been known to cause cancer or disrupt hormones, etc., etc. And so I got my beautiful products and I was looking through them on the EWG, and it didn't take long for me to realize that what I thought was beautiful, natural, non-toxic products was actually just a big marketing ploy, and there was a lot of nasty things in my lovely moisturizer that I really was not happy about putting on my skin. And so that started me thinking, maybe I could make my own. I like doing everything myself. I'm a bit of a DIYer, and so I had the idea of perhaps starting my own label, making my own skincare products for other people. I mean, surely I wasn't the only person out there who was struggling with finding truly natural products. And so all I knew is that I wanted to use coconut oil. And so that's where I wanted to start. And from coconut oil, I was researching and I came across another amazing oil, tamanu oil, and decided I'd give those two a go. And when I mixed them together, history was made. I've written a bit about this story. I won't go into it too much, but basically when I blended the two, coconut oil and tamanu, together, I made this amazing mixture of oils that immediately made my skin look healthier. And so that's how I got started. And part of my motivation back then was to provide products that were natural. There wasn't much on the market. People weren't really even aware of a need to avoid chemicals. It was still a very new concept that skincare products could contain things that were actually bad for us and bad for our skin. Yes, there were a few natural ones out there, but they really weren't effective. And it was a very niche market, a very, very small market. Whereas today what we see is a larger percentage of the population wanting natural products, which is great, which is wonderful. But what I'm noticing, and this is largely my drive for starting this podcast, what I am noticing is products aren't getting safer or more natural or more effective. What's happening is marketing is becoming more effective at convincing people and consumers that the nasty ingredients, things that are carcinogenic, that disrupt hormones, that cause damage to the skin, that are bad for the environment, are actually fine and they're safe. And the marketing is getting really, really clever. And it's really quite confronting. I find that, there's a need in the market, and instead of meeting that need, we as in the beauty industry, not me, manufacturers are going to such great lengths to convince people their products are safe, instead of going, hey, there's a need in the market for effective, natural, non-toxic, ethically produced skincare products. When they're not giving that need, they are simply trying to brainwash people, and it's bothering me. And so that's where the name Inside Beauty came from. So over this blog, this podcast, I will be going through and dispelling some of the myths that I come across as I come across them. I would encourage anybody to contact me, anybody listening, to contact me with some ingredients if you want me to go through it and talk about what they are and how they can damage how they damage you, or whether they're good. And I would love to teach some people anybody who's interested, how to actually learn to read your labels, because by learning how to read them, you are empowered, and you can therefore make educated decisions over what it is that you buy and what it is you put on your skin. You might be okay with some level of chemicals being on your body, but it's about empowered choice and knowing exactly what it is you're putting on, and so you can make that choice yourself, not some manufacturer and clever marketer trying to convince you or trick you that you're making a healthy choice when you're not. And so that's how I got started. That's my motivation going forward. And another area for me, as I said, I'm not really a beauty person. I don't wear makeup beyond mascara. And beauty to me is always more than just what's on the outside. It always has been. And so part of this podcast, I want to be talking to people who have inspired me, people who are doing great work on helping women and teenagers, and to really feel beauty on the inside, and whether that be by looking at systems, like I do, where I'll take clients through and I'll look at what dysfunctions are going on inside their body that will be reflecting on their skin, or whether it be people looking at the emotional side and the psychological components of feeling beautiful and being beautiful and owning who you are and living a beautiful life. And so I will be interviewing people coming forward, as well as each week I will be looking at a new area, of how to explore what beauty means on the inside. So thank you very much for listening. I expect these to be about 15 minutes long going forward. And please, if you have any questions or comments, send me an email at ivy@holisticskinhealth.com.au or find me on Facebook, Holistic Skin Health on Facebook, and send me a message or, write a comment, get in touch with me, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts. Thank you.